Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by 10th Man, Righteous Force, Paul Hall, Chocolate Sane, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And before we start, I gotta pass a message along that Quantum Eraser will not be doing the show today.
He's got horrendous weather, hasn't he? So he's not going to be able to get an internet connection to actually do anything.
Okay, Betty told me that, so I don't know what's going on. Just that he won't be doing it.
So don't be here. Be Sphere.
You got to announce the non-show.
Yeah, I suggested that he gets a Premiere out, but I don't think he can even get an internet connection to set up a Premiere, so there may just literally be nothing from Quantum Eraser at his usual time of 7 PM UK tonight, so just be aware, it's one of those, he's not died, he's just got no internet connection.
Gee, I wonder what segment you can put on at that time.
Hold on. Hey, Arwin and Helen, then go ahead, Neil. Hold on 1 second, Neil.
Good afternoon.
Very good to have you. Hey, go ahead, Neil.
I was just saying, I think you should do a show then.
I'm doing a show. We are live, Neil. Hello.
No, I mean in place of Quantum Eraser. Give us something.
I can't. That we talked about in the pre-show. Perfect.
Not a Power Ranger. I can't turn into Quantum Eraser. Anyway, let's get on with housekeeping. Any signs of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
Not from Providence, Rhode Island.
No, but I did have one of the ballers yesterday say that he admitted that light bends, and then because of trigonometry or because of calculus or whatever, you can actually take a curved line, curved ray, and straighten it out into a tangent line. Actually, into a tangent line. I thought, really? So you can calculate it, but it's not really a true tangent line, right? It's hilarious.
Sure. The tangent line needs a tangent point, and the tangent point in their geometric model is the edge of a physical sphere edge. It's a horizon. It's called the geometric horizon. It exists only in their model. That's why the model's debunked, because we don't have a geometric horizon. We only have one horizon, not geometric. So we can't draw any tangent points, and drawing donkey dicks to them isn't going to solve the problem. Moving on. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety? Coriolis effect.
Oh, really?
Is that enthusiastic?
Coriolis effect with a lockstep moving atmosphere with the supposed...
Somebody kick him out. Right, just kick him out.
Wait, he's on Google Hangouts.
I know. No, the Earth doesn't travel in lockstep. It's gas. It's not attached. It's unbonded. Take it away, 10th Man.
Arwin, you had that pre-show. You missed it. You're going to have to come on to it. You're going to say there's no deviation at this point? Is that what you're arguing for?
Well, as for the ballers' argumentation about every time Coriolis gets involved, they always do fall back. But no, we don't see Coriolis effect because there is nothing here in order for you to supposedly detect Coriolis, because the atmosphere is moving in lockstep with the presupposed rotating globe Earth. But at the same time, Coriolis effect still happens in other ways, even though that doesn't really match, because you can't have your Coriolis and eat it too. But they think that they can somehow.
Well, then the Earth is not rotating under anything, correct?
Just concede, Arwin. Don't be the baller the whole time.
Be a baller.
It works.
You need to figure the cause of Coriolis.
So yeah, 10th man's right. I'll address something with Arwin afterwards, but let's get this concise. Yes, you're correct, 10th man. That's right. There wouldn't be any deviation if Earth and atmosphere were travelling together, and the whole point of the claim of Coriolis is that there is one.
Is where like it works for sniper bullets, it doesn't work for hot air balloons. Works for sniper bullets, but doesn't work for planes. Right? It's a bit weird.
It doesn't work like that. If you're on a roundabout and you launch anything off it, it will deviate. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if you're a drone. It's not going to track along with the roundabout. Doesn't work like that. Anyway, a point just subtly, you've just picked up on something that Arwin does. So what Arwin's just done there is he's offered the baller argument, and he's obviously claiming it as himself, as Arwin. He's putting it out there, right? Devil's advocate or otherwise, it doesn't matter. He's putting it out there. Now, if nobody actually had the right answer, and I've noticed this as a pattern, Arwin would stick with that baller hat on and punish the person with the baller argument until the point that they defeat him. And then he puts the argument onto the ballers as a stereotype to explain what they would do in this circumstance, because it removes him from that position. So I'm going to ask Arwin a quick question. Are you a little bit of a sadist, Arwin?
Just a little.
I knew it.
It's what happens when you deal with a lot of masochists.
I agree. It takes one to know one, if you like, but you know what I mean? I agree. We are dealing with a lot of masochists.
Right, and they don't take hints very easily, so you gotta really lay it on there, you know?
Fair enough. I do not approve or disapprove. Moving on. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
It's over there. Shining bright.
We need to hustle a load of people off muting, getting a very quiet server. Oh no. Seems like
the
everyone's
only
off
way they can do it is put sticks and shadows, which is just raises a lot of questions.
You need to assume R for sticks and shadows. Right, yeah, everyone in Discord's off mute. Where were we? Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No. No, not a force. It's an effect. Can't have scientific evidence of that. Can only point to what causes the effect, and that is relative density.
In the current rhetoric, it's the uneven distribution of mass. Not that mass has been defined ever, but nevertheless, that's their rhetoric. Correct. The actual description would be relative density, or merely density. The relative part may or may not come into it.
Well, I'm standing. I'm not floating away.
It's because you're more dense than the air you're in. Currently in equilibrium.
Because of relative density. It's because it's
then
more
why don't you
dense.
go up?
You're more dense than the air above you?
Neil's just uneven.
Yes,
He's not dense.
and the air above you is less dense, so why don't you go up then?
Because you're more dense than the air above you. I just said that. You just ignored it and said that the air's less dense. Yeah, that's why you're more dense. And likewise, if you're in water, a more dense material, you'd rise up, because potentially you're more buoyant than the water you're in. So you go up if you just didn't do anything. But essentially, when you're on the ground, you're in equilibrium.
I love that train wreck argument. It's ridiculous. Why wouldn't you go up? Meanwhile, you're denser than the air. What the hell?
But that's because of the relative part, I guess. Because that points out the relation.
Any second we're going to get asked why. Any second we're going to get asked why you jump out of a plane and you don't go up. Yeah, I've been asked that nonsense before.
Right on.
Yeah, Arwin, we could hear you.
Yeah,
my relatives are more dense than me.
Yes, okay, but I just wanted to point out that early on when we started to work on the relative density theory with Tony and all that, when I was getting over gravity, the ballers, especially Rompus, try to constantly strawman us with that the relative makes the direction it goes at relative. No, he constantly on purpose misinterpreted that to suggest like, oh, what direction does it go then, and blah blah blah. But while that is very much set, the alignment of the directions by which relative density disequilibrium movement goes is very much set. That part is not relative.
That's why I said just density. Moving on. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Or before you give me an answer, I'll do a quick shout out to Rakia Life. If I can find the damn super chat. Shout out to Rakia Life, who says, for all the ballers who don't understand, right on, when I say I don't like QE, it doesn't mean I don't like QE, it means I don't like QE apparent deflection, lol. Thank you very much for the super chat, Rakia Life. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Observe and
just an observation.
You know, they try to size things up, but they can be very much off by, what is it, a factor of 100,000 or something. It doesn't matter too much. So.
Yeah, that's not a hypothesis, though. You know, the end of their maths isn't what I'm looking for. I gotta be honest. A viable hypothesis. Nah, this isn't that, are we?
What did that guy say? That no one in our field uses the scientific method.
Which one? Do you know who you're talking about? There's lots of guys.
It's your Kaku chocolate. Time for the quote.
Yeah. Or maybe not. He's obviously tied up at the moment. We're totally dependent on chocolate on this show. Without chocolate, there is no quotes. That's how it goes, basically.
Oh,
yeah, come on, Buddha.
You guys wait for me? What happened?
No, not at all. We're not at all dependent on... Don't tell him we're dependent on him. No, we weren't waiting on you, chocolate. It's all good. Just out of interest, though, you wouldn't happen to know that Michio Kaku quote where he's talking about how many factors there are by?
Oh, in cosmology, we're off by a factor of 10 to the 120th power. That's a 1 with 120 zeros after it. The greatest mismatch between theory and experiment in the history of science. Michio Kaku.
Chocolate saying, ladies and gentlemen. Chocolate saying.
Yeah, only chocolate could do these. No one should ever do what chocolate can do.
Yeah, but chocolate, you misunderstood him. He's doing the higher science.
Who let M. Scott Beach on the panel?
Any thoughts on the cosmic microwave background?
Yeah, I tried it. It burnt my toast.
No, feel free to elaborate on why you would ask such a question.
Because it had like the axis of evil. It had some X where the cosmic background, it showed like an X, and right in the center was Earth. Allegedly. Of course, I can't like verify any of this. But...
Do you think light's a wave?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you think light's a wave?
No, that is scanned this space or whatever and down the cosmic microwave background.
Yeah, the microwave. Do you think that's a wave?
Not too sure.
Anybody else on the panel? We all do we all? I'll just phrase it like this: do we all appreciate that microwave is light? First of all, not very many people saying yes. That's quite surprising.
Is
it,
I think
though?
so, yeah.
Did I hear a upward inflection? Someone saying, "Is it?" Is that what I just
Is
heard?
it though? Really? So if you would increase the output of a radio signal or microwave, would it eventually literally cause lighting up?
It is
No,
light.
that's not how it works.
It is light.
Seriously, you have to increase the frequency, not the
Frequency of this light. Do you?
I don't know.
I still haven't had an answer. Nobody seems to be answering me. So, are we under the impression that this is a... I'm not even on to the effect that we're getting with redshift yet. Well, we're 10 miles away from that yet. Bloody hell. So suddenly everyone's forgotten that light's not a wave, right? Microwave's light.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank God, Ed. So, given that it's a light and not a wave, light's just merely being categorised, given a convention by way of a mathematical description of a probability distribution. Given that that's the case, how do you have it shorten and lengthen to give you this red and blue shift? It's a question, because maybe somebody can give me a coherent answer that involves light not doing things that waves do in Doppler effect. But so far, not so good when this came up not so recently actually, by coincidence. Maybe someone can explain that to me.
What's your question?
Given that light's not a wave, how do you have this effect of these, like, almost Doppler effect, as I can understand it, with redshift and blue shift, as things get further away from you? Increasing or
Yeah,
decreasing?
because the path it goes through gets stretched while it goes through the path. So that means the thing itself gets stretched too, and it shifts.
What gets stretched? The wavelength that we don't have in a probability distribution? Because that kind of makes no sense to me.
What are you talking about? That's how light...
Hilarious.
What am I talking about? Light's not a wave. It's only being categorized that way in the various different frequencies you have, including microwave, by way of calculations of probability distributions, not actual physical waves. Now, if you're saying it's getting stretched and squashed, so what? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm hoping someone can explain it to me, because my cognition says that light doesn't do that because it's not a wave, but maybe someone can explain it to me.
Right. Well, light is not just a straightforward particle either. So,
That's not the question, though, is it? That's not what I'm asking.
What light is. It's
so
what light does.
That's not what I'm asking.
And that happens. So, we don't know.
Very informative. Thank you, Arwin. It wasn't the question, but thank you anyway. Thank you.
Where's this? Okay, hang on. Where's this supposed to be happening? What medium is this supposed to be happening? This red and blue shift.
I don't know how relevant, but in space.
Well, then we don't even need to discuss what light is in space, because there is no space the way they define space.
No, but the red and blue shift does happen on Earth too, with motion away from light and towards light.
Oh yeah, why? Why is that happening?
I don't know why. It just happens. I've seen it. There's like devices that do this. Like there's this freeway specific point here in the Netherlands where they put up these lights, and when you move towards them, they change color as when you move away from them, when you look at it from the other side of the road, going away. So
that's how light reflects off something. You can have that in pearlescent paint, where it can color shift the color and tone of the paint just by moving in terms of changing the reflectivity that the light's coming in and which way it bounces off. But that isn't redshift or blue shift as it's described in the microwave, the CMB. That's not how they're describing it. I'm no expert on the CMB, right? I'm asking this. I don't know.
Well, my question is why
light has
what
wavelengths.
Can use to measure
I'm not
this?
sure.
Hold on. Go on, Ed.
Yeah, light has wavelengths, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's not a wave, though, is it? The wavelength that's being described is derived from a probability distribution. Didn't I just go through this 30 seconds ago? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, definitely did. I was looking for an explanation.
You did, but it still operates with wavelengths, so it doesn't.
No, that's sorry, third time.
You want me to post?
No, that's how it's.
What else are you going to call it?
Arwin,
Nathan?
hello. No, that's how it's been described by way of its convention, and the convention utilised probability distributions, otherwise known as wave function. The wave function is not a physical wave, and you seem to be describing it as such, which is where my issue came in. So far, you haven't described how this is possible, given that light is not a wave, despite the fact that the description that they give to give it a convention utilize probability distributions, otherwise known as wave functions. Doesn't make it a wave. You're wrong. Have you got any explanation for how we can derive red or blue shift, given that light isn't a wave? Because so far, I haven't had a concise explanation from you. If you haven't got anything else, so I'd just say no.
You're just saying it's not a wave, but can you actually show this?
Sorry, no, I didn't just say light's not a wave. I explained that the way you get that convention, the way you get these different frequencies as they're described, is through probability distribution, also known as wave function. I didn't just say, no, light's not a wave. I didn't hand wave it. I gave a full-on explanation that you ignored 3 times in a row and now are claiming I didn't say. So are you deaf? Stupid? What? What's your problem?
Well, it seems just a word salad, so...
What? Wave function is not a fucking word salad? Do you know what a wave function is, dipshit? I take it from your silence that you don't have the slightest clue what I'm talking about. That's why you called it word salad. Wave function's a mathematical description of a probability distribution, and it is that was used to give you these different functions in terms of a spectrum of light. It doesn't make it a wave. Now, I'd suggest you sit down and shut up from here on in, given that you haven't given me a coherent answer to CMB, which was the question. You just said, I'm talking nonsense with this word salad, which is not what I am doing. I'm coherently and concisely detailing why it's not a wave. That would be light.
Right, so should I link the Wikipedia page and you can check the sources for yourself?
Oh, right, so it's straight to wiki parroting. Sorry, I asked you if you know what a wave function is. Do you know what a wave function is or not? You're just going to throw a bloody wiki source at me. My God, while he went silent, looked it up on wiki for 25 seconds. No, mate, you're not going to challenge me on this with a bloody wiki citation.
I was actually reading actual science the whole time.
Science? Sorry, did you just say the word science? This is going to be fun. Did you just say the word science?
Yeah, you do realize that Wikipedia has actual sources.
Sorry, did you say the word science? Deaf, it seems. Wiki, actual science, that's what I heard. Was I wrong? Am I deaf? Are you going to say no when this is recorded and broadcast live?
Do you understand that...
Don't ask me something! I just asked, did you say science? 3rd time.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, brilliant. So we've got some science.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, you don't need to talk through me just because you realise the inevitability of your demise. No need, mate. So, you're going to take an early concession. Were you just wrong? You're going to have some humility rather than me taking through the painful process of pointing out how you will absolutely, definitely not have science for this nonsense you're about to claim from Wikipedia.
I'm not throwing up.
No concession, so you think you've got science. Perfect. So, what were we studying? What was the observed phenomena claimed on Wiki?
What are you talking about?
You said you got science. Now we're going to find out if you were right or if you've just got no humility. I'm banking on the latter.
Yeah, nice
phenomena observed.
Mate. I'll link you.
Don't link me anything. You've made the claim. I'm not challenging Wiki. I'm challenging you. Observe phenomena.
Yeah, there you go. The sources are listed.
I don't want anything. I don't need anything beyond the observed phenomena. You said you've got science. You haven't conceded you haven't. Now you're talking through me. You're talking through me and throwing Wiki at me. Hello, can you? You're going to get removed pretty quickly if you talk through me. No, I don't want your Wiki source. I want to know what the phenomena they were studying was. Do you not understand English?
The answer is light. Which part is...
Oh, excellent. So we're trying to figure out the cause of light. DV, dependent variable, is light. Oh, right. And what was their assumed cause of light? Independent variable, please. Science, mate. What was their presumed cause of the phenomena of light in Wiki's entry?
You want me to read off the light sources?
No. Are you deaf? No, that's not what I want. Now you need to shut up and listen again to what I've already asked for. The independent variable cause of light. IV for your DV. DV being phenomenal light, according to you. What do they say caused this? What's the hypothesis?
It's different for every experiment, of course.
That's fascinating. What's the independent variable for this experiment you've claimed you've got and haven't?
Do you want me to read?
No! Are you deaf? No! That's the second time you've asked me that. I've asked you for the independent variable claimed to be assumed cause of the effect at this stage. Hypothesis formation. What did they claim caused light?
No, you said...
Now, mate, look, let's just end
this.
Let's just end this
light. Which light?
Shh.
Which light?
You're making the claim. Why are you asking me? I'm now going to explain why you're an idiot, if you'll let me, without talking through me. Nobody's going to give me the cause of light. This man's a dipshit. He's an idiot. And I'm sick of hearing from him. He hasn't got the vaguest clue what he's babbling about. Light's definitely not a wave. It's derived from a mathematical... Mate, what did I just say about talking through me? When you said word salad, I'm summarising that which you didn't understand, clearly. You're not going to give me the cause of light from Wiki. This is not an experiment. The DV light, has been extensively studied with various experiments, some of which I've got a vague understanding of, surprisingly. I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but you're not going to give me the cause of light. I know that for certain. It's an ongoing study, and you're not going to give me the cause of that. So this isn't science. Shut up!
Holy shit,
Shut the hell up! You wiki parroting pretender clown. You want to throw some nonsense from Wiki at me calling it science. Now, the reason you're doing that is because Globehead pretender clowns use this word to assert some sort of validity to the nonsense they parrot from Wiki. And what you have got is definitely not science, proven by the fact you're claiming to have the cause of light. Nonsense. So shut up.
Light again.
Shut up.
You're not telling me which light.
Shut up. That means stop talking, idiot. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No, it's presupposed to.
Go on, Nathan's apprentice.
They claim seismic waves do it. They got that wrong at 12 miles.
12k.
Nathan, I just want to say, I know the cause of light. I turned the light switch on. Just want to
say. I think there's a bit more to it than that. Right,
I bet Wiki has the answer.
I don't need you to be a sarcastic Wiki parroter. I just want to get to the end of the housekeeping, Neil. Thanks for the jape, though. Any evidence of the R value?
Saturday, all they do is read from whatever they're reading from and spew it out of their mouth.
Well, in that instance, he didn't even want to read it. He didn't want to give me anything. He just wanted me to read it for him. He then asked me what about light, which was his claim. Meanwhile, any evidence of the R value? Earth radius. Anybody at all?
Black Swan.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I knew that was coming too, but it's still funny.
Someone tried to beat me to it.
It was me, Chocolate. We timed it.
Awesome.
Right? Because when you change R, when you change the value, oh yeah, you may see it may seem like you could, oh yeah, just fix it. It may be slightly different, but they forget that their entire model, I forgot it too at first, that their entire model is very specific in its arrangement and in its setting and how everything's supposed to be. And yeah, if the radius value suddenly changes, then everything changes, because the radius value is technically a foundation stone on which the entire structure is built. So yeah,
so what's so hard
changing our warps reality in the baller world.
Absolutely spot on. Correct, Arwin. It's the fundamental foundation of everything, and while you say changes, I say implodes.
Hold on. I do construction. I want to build an extension and make my house bigger. I knock out some walls, frame it out, and make it bigger. Why can't they do that?
This is not an infomercial, right? Stop punting for business here.
Why can't they do that? Because the entire outer space universe and all the distances they're supposedly in would change with the radius. It's the entire universe is folded around the Earth radius, effectively.
Fine. Why can't they do it? With Neil's constructions, you can. Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon.
Gravity.
Nope.
Gravity is not a force, regardless of how hard you think about it.
Yeah. And even if it was a force, it would not be strong enough a force to counteract the gas pressure expansion known as entropy.
Ah, those were the days.
So Rumpus is wrong.
Yeah, gas doesn't behave like bouncy balls. It doesn't go up to the Kármán line and then burn its bra and fall back down again.
No rebellious gas particles?
No, I'm afraid not.
You sure it doesn't just go up at 5,000 miles per hour and then just makes a hard U-turn and just comes back?
Yeah, maybe. No, it doesn't.
Does it come back in a straight line? Maybe space is all bendy and it just the space itself goes 180 degrees up there. Then it may make sense.
Here we go. Who's going to have it? Arwin the sadist. On the prowl.
You say 100.
You don't have to make it sound so nefarious, Nathan. Come on, I'm just...
You got a nibble. Go ahead, Ed. You can have at it with Arwin.
You said 180 degrees.
Yes, so if the gas pressure is expanding in all directions, yet the gas is still at some point going to go down, the only way I could conceive that that could work is through pseudo-Riemannian space-time bending, and that space, for some reason above us, maybe a side effect of gravity, blah, 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 whatever consequence, somehow causes space itself to turn 180 degrees, so everything that rushes up will then automatically deflect down effectively, while not losing its momentum.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you mean to say if you shoot a rocket up to space, it's just gonna do a 180 and go back to Earth in a straight line?
There is no space.
Well,
No,
if gas pressure
answer
would do that, if gas pressure would go up and go down like a bouncy ball, sort of like Rumpus described, if it would do that, then rockets would also do that, yeah.
Right, so you would just magically do a 180.
Well, magically, this is space, warped space. Spatiality turned 180 degrees.
Listen to Ed, magically. It's your magically, not ours. You're the one saying this.
Hey, don't tell me
it's not. It's not.
Hold on. Shh. Hold on, 10th man.
What
it's Arwin and Ed.
But it has to do with gravity.
What?
Gravity doesn't say space.
We're in Narnia.
180.
Hold on. Just let him get to the end of his... hold on. Everyone shut up. Right, it's just Arwin and Ed. Ed, can you repeat yourself, please? Everyone talk through you.
Gravity doesn't mean that space bends 180. I don't know where you...
Really? What about black holes?
Yeah. What about them?
So it does.
Please go ahead.
Can. It should be able to, according to Einstein. So if that can be the... Who knows if that is a possibility? What else is out there and we just haven't caught up on it? What's really there?
But what is a possibility with 180 degrees? Whatever you said doesn't make sense at all.
Well, just think of it like a warp door. Think of it. What's that game again? Based on Half-Life originally, Portal, right? So what if there's just a portal, and when you go up straight into it, it literally makes you go down as if you were moving in a straight line. Just you go up and you go down at the same time.
Yeah, that's not what gravity is. I've never heard of this before.
But gravity is the bending of space-time. So if space-time can be bent, then why would such a thing not be possible?
It's not a portal or a wormhole or whatever.
It's just a metaphor that I try to give.
No, but it doesn't work because gravity.
It doesn't.
The bending of space-time means it's all drawn towards the center. Nowhere does it say it's bending one.
That's not true. No, that's not true. That only
Yes, it
counts
is.
for general effects of masses being drawn together and planets and all that. But it's overall not the complete truth, according to that presupposition.
Yeah, but that happens
because there are all kinds of effects that are not really explained by that. Like how does gas pressure still stick to the Earth and all that? That doesn't explain that actually.
The center of mass is the center point of gravity, and that goes out 360 degrees everywhere, not just 180. I've never heard this. Can you please show a citation or?
Yes, that's fine. It's Flat Earth Debates, 5th of May 2020, around 10 minutes ago. I said it.
Yeah, you said it, but please show a citation where it says that gravity bends space in 180 degrees or whatever you said.
I just gave it to you.
I think you just made it up. Can you please?
No, hold on. I don't think you get what's happening. You're not asking him to prove what he's suggesting in his crazy pseudo world of Arwin to be real. You're asking him for a citation, and what he's saying is, yeah, I've cited it. I am that citation. You can cite me. You can put quotes around me. Cite me all you like. That's the citation you're getting. It's Arwin with a timestamp and a date. That's your citation.
Okay, so he just made it up. That's.
Oh, I see. Now, if you don't mind, Arwin, I'd just like to ask you a question. Can you show me space-time, please?
Yeah, you
No,
can't really...
not you, Arwin. Sorry, we're just going to establish if at the end of this conversation he comes to the exact same conclusion that he came to about Arwin, that they just made it up themselves. We'll see how this goes. So, given that Arwin can't show you that, I'm asking you to show me space-time. Can you do that? Or did they just make it up themselves?
I can show you citations for the scientific...
Sorry, didn't you understand that when I pointed out that Arwin's giving a citation isn't satisfactory because it doesn't demonstrate it to be real? And you said, oh, you just made it up yourself. Yeah, you can just provide a citation from Einstein because he just made it up himself now, didn't he?
Yeah, he did made it up. He can't show...
So who gives a shit? Yeah, he just made it up, mate. Yeah, like Arwin just made up. Arwin, simmer down. Yeah, he just made it up, like Arwin just made it up. So citations don't really cut it. You providing a citation's about as good as Arwin putting a timestamp and a quote mark around what he just said. Because Arwin just said it, means he just made it up, and Einstein just said it, meaning he just made it up. So they're about equal in terms of their validity, mate. Your citation's not going to cut it. We want to see space-time as being real. Oh, what's that? It's pseudo-Ramonian force space. Length, breadth, depth, and time, not capable of demonstration. Just an idea in Einstein's head that he made up himself?
Yes.
Yeah, so who gives a shit then? This isn't real, mate. Don't you get it? That makes it not real. Hello? He just made it up himself, mate?
Show even one citation.
It's not citation. I want to see space-time. Don't you get it? You seem to think that writing something down makes it real. No, while Einstein wrote it down and was a very good citation, and he was absolutely the authority on this pseudo-geometry, it doesn't make it real any more than Arwin writing it down and publishing it and becoming the authority on Arwinian space. Doesn't make that real either. It's the same, mate.
Yeah, go ahead and show me the flat earth.
Don't ask me to show you something, mate. You've claimed space-time. And by your own standards... it ain't real. It's just made up by Einstein, isn't it, mate? Don't ask me for something.
No,
you've been pummeled.
I can actually show you citations.
Not citations, Dumbo. Third time in a row. They get amnesia real quick when I'm dealing with them. Yet not citation. Maybe we want to see space-time as being real. Not Einstein writing it down. That's like Arwin writing his stuff down.
Nah, that's the difference between actual scientific
Bro, you know your
Oh,
citations
actually,
don't read any.
Citation
citations don't read any.
science.
make it up, but
Sorry,
I
it's
can.
all right. This dude didn't get his first arse beating when he said the word science. You think Einstein and his pseudo, literally it's got the word pseudo in the name of the geometry and you think this is science? It's called pseudo-Riemannian force space. You think if it was science, they'd label it pseudo? Pseudo-science, not adhering to the method you didn't understand earlier when we pummeled you with your assertion of science. Einsteinian pseudo-Riemannian force space is a mathematical construct. Why are you talking through me, asshole? Yeah, your nonsense isn't real. Space-time's not real, it's conceptual. It's pseudo, it's definitely not science. Now, you might not like that and feel the requirement to talk through me pointing out that you're blarting on nonsense with word salad. Your use of the word science was word salad, mate. Not science, pseudo.
So, this one?
Or like science salad.
Yeah, mate, you accused me of word salad when I described something very specific about how you derive wave function in mathematics. You said that was word salad. No, that was absolutely factually accurate. However, you've said that Einstein and his pseudo geometry is science. Well, let me be the first to berate you as the fundamentalist religious zealot moron you are, Ed. You're an idiot. This isn't science. For the second time, you've asserted science where none exists. It's even labelled as... Don't talk through me. You're getting told off. That means sit down, shut up, and understand how stupid you have behaved when asserting that a pseudo-geometry... I'm going to kick you out if you talk through me again. Can't you take being told off? Don't you like being wrong and having it pointed out by me, a flat earther, that knows your pseudoscience better than you do? It's pseudo. It's labelled pseudo by the very man who wrote it down. That would be Einstein. Pseudo-geometry, mate. Pseudo-Riemannian force space, mate. Not science, mate. You're an idiot, mate. Don't you like this, mate? Yeah, I bet. That's because morons don't like being shown to be wrong. For the second time on this show, you've declared science. And the very person who labelled it pseudo! Do you get me, stupid? Are you hearing me on FM?
What does pseudo mean?
It means not science, not adhering to the scientific method. Look it up. It means sham, fake, not real.
Why is centrifugal force?
Don't ask me a question, you pathetic weasel. You haven't acknowledged a word. Twice. I'll slow down. That's what I do with thickos that are deaf. Slow it right down. Because he's stupid and deaf. Twice. You've said science. Once you claimed you'd got the cause of light, and now you're claiming pseudo-Riemannian force space is science. That's 2 times, twice, dos. You've used word salad religious nonsense here. That makes you a religious wiki-parroting pretender clown idiot. Do you understand, Ed? That's not a cue for you to ask me something. It's a cue for you to have an iota of humility, you pathetic weasel.
I understand how wrong you are, if that's...
No, I'm not wrong. I'm correct on your nonsense of science when it's labelled pseudo by the very author. You think I'm wrong? No, you pathetic weasel. You're not going to get to attack me on anything with any validity here. You're a complete fool. Me, on the other hand, I can identify pseudoscience when it's in the title! You don't understand the title of this geometry, pseudo, you moron.
What does the word mean then?
It means fake, sham, second time you've asked, not real. Yeah,
That's not the
dipshit.
only definition.
I'm going to remove you now because you pissed me right off. 3rd time I've asked him, just kick him out of here. He's a pathetic weasel. He's come here with his nonsense rhetoric about gravity, and the moment we get to the point where he, for the 2nd time, has asserted science, when the very thing is labelled pseudo, he can't acknowledge it because they're weasels. They've got absolutely zero humility. It's pathetic. But what, because your religious belief's getting a challenge, suddenly you've got to ask me all sorts of questions rather than acknowledge that you've chanted word salad here? No, mate. No, it's projection. I'm not dealing in word salad. I'm talking sense. You, on the other hand, have claimed science twice. Well, you don't have any. That's because you're a word salad, wiki-parroting pretender muppet. Now, sod off.
Hey, Nathan. Remember how this conversation started with the supposed gas going back like a ball, as Rumpus described?
Yes.
Well, I have an alternative as to a reason as to why that gas comes down again. It bumps against the container.
The Kármán line's not a container, though. You can't have the Kármán line bouncing. Oh, you mean in reality? Oh, yeah, we must have a container. Yes, definitely, Alwyn.
It is weird, like, you know, because I like to challenge myself and my beliefs and what I know and what I don't know, and then yeah, you get other people just hang on to it. They just make every excuse under the.
Merriam-Webster.
God Scalpel, can you pop yourself on mute,
definition.
please?
Merriam-Webster, pseudo. Definition is being apparently rather than actually as stated. Sham, spurious. How to use pseudo. False or spurious. Sham. And the guy's asking you what it means.
I told him twice, that's why I kicked him out. He keeps asking me a question now. On occasion, if it's on topic in regards to what he's been pummeled on, I'll answer him. Asking me a random question about inertia or whatever he was going to go on to, I definitely won't answer. That's just a straw man obfuscation tactic or a red herring fallacy. Well, no, I'm not going to tolerate that. But when I've explained to him twice, then no, it's just like, no, you're never going to concede. You've got no humility. I don't understand why that's the case. Why is it, and this is without exception, globeheads have absolutely no humility ever. Now, I've had to be, you know, humble in regards to various things I've got wrong. I'm human. And I'll admit it when I am, quickly too. To spare the pain being drawn out. People get things wrong. Now, not once, and they're wrong all the time here, let's be honest, not once has a glober just said, yeah, I'm completely incorrect on that score. Yeah, I understand. You've made it make perfect sense. You've demolished my argument. You've explained how 3 times, 5 times, 100 times in a row. With Rumpus, I've done that. Counted it off to 100, where they just simply will not concede, regardless of how many or how hard they've been pummeled. And he was no exception. Should I spend the last 10 minutes of the live show non-stop going around in circles with him not conceding that he's asserted science where none exists? No, of course not. I know from past experience he will never concede. He has absolutely no humility. He is no exception.
You know what's interesting, Nathan, is if you look up the word, it means false or pretend, right? Fake, not real. Name me one other thing that starts off with pseudo that someone is trying to sell you a product. Like, would someone sell you a pseudo car part or a pseudo headache medicine tablet? I mean, no one ever puts that word in front of anything.
Yeah, they do. The Coriolis force is a pseudo force.
Not only them. That's what I'm saying. It's only them.
Yeah, but they claim science has a different definition for pseudo.
Nathan, let's talk about the pseudo Coriolis force real quickly, because the Coriolis force looks like there are forces acting upon it, but there is no real forces acting upon it because in its apparent deflection, moving in a straight line. Am I right? That's what makes the Coriolis force an apparent force,
correct.
right?
Correct. The Coriolis force is a pseudo force. There's no actual force involved. If you watch a plane travel through the sky and the claim is real, which it isn't, that Earth is turning underneath the plane, then from your vantage point, the plane looks like it's curving. It isn't. The plane's just travelling straight, therefore the plane isn't actually experiencing any force of any description whatsoever. It's just flying in a straight line, but from your position it looks like apparent it's curving. It isn't, therefore there isn't any actual force whatsoever. Now it still looks like it's curving from your vantage point, so the force that you're experiencing, if you want to describe it as a force, is a sham force, or not real force, a fake force, because there's nothing curving the plane. Now, if the curving was going on and you did see Earth turning underneath planes to give you this not actual deviation, then the Earth would be turning under the planes and your flight times would be reduced. They don't, because Earth isn't turning underneath. But without hijacking your point, Paul, feel free to carry on.
Well, the next step in this argument, hurricanes. There are true forces causing true deviation. So you can't say Coriolis is causing hurricanes because there are true forces causing those hurricanes to rotate, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
Apparently some of them do, though.
Just to summarise Paul's point, a not actual sham pseudo force, that would be Coriolis, doesn't cause anything ever. You can observe something seeming to happen from a non-inertial spinning reference frame. That would be the plane seeming to curve when it doesn't actually curve. But that's it. That's a non-force, a not actual force. And that not actual curving will never turn into the plane going into a cyclonic action. Because it isn't actually curving, it's travelling straight. You just seem to see it curve. But that's not a force. So no, it will never develop any wind cyclonic motion because it can't. It's not a force.
It's an illusion.
Correct.
And that's per their words.
Right. So the Coriolis force is not a force. It's more like an effect of something else. Isn't it? Oh, somebody's spamming in chat.
Back to what Neil said, they use the word in science. I just looked it up, pseudoscience, a theory, methodology, or practice that is considered to be without scientific foundation. Yeah, Neil, they do use it in science. It's false science.
Can I explain how the Coriolis effect would work on a flat Earth model?
Why? Just need a roundabout spinning and you launch something off it and watch it appear to deviate. That's it. End of explanation.
If you have a large pool of water on a model,
did you not just listen
the
to what I just said?
molecules of water.
Did you not just listen to what I just said?
Outer edge of the disk.
Who's talking? Did you not listen to what I just said? Clearly not. Deciding that you're just going to spew your nonsense anyway. Mate, the Coriolis effect is merely an apparent deflection observed from a non-inertial spinning reference frame like a roundabout. Throw something off it while it's spinning, it'll seem to curve. End of explanation.
Very true, very true.
Just out of interest,
and it's an effect that is. It's an effect. It's not an.
Yeah, it's an apparent effect because nothing's actually deviating. Just seems to if you're spinning underneath something.
But why would we need to explain it on a flat Earth?
We don't. We're not spinning.
No, the Earth not. When actual Coriolis happens, there is motion. It's just that the pseudo force is the way to explain what the effect you're seeing. But there is actual motion happening. You know, without actual motion difference, there is no Coriolis effect either. So it's just not happening on the Earth because the Earth's not spinning.
That's why I cut the other guy off. We're not spinning, so why would you need to give a Coriolis example on an Earth that's not spinning? It makes no sense.
I think Pizzle was talking about the storms. North of the equator goes one way and south.
Not Coriolis effect.
I would say regardless if we live on a flat Earth or if we live on a...
Hold on, sorry, go ahead. Is it puzzle?
Pizzizzle, yeah. I was just saying if we live on either model, the effect would occur. So it's not...
What effect? Define Coriolis for us. Hold on a second, Chocolate. Do you want to just define what Coriolis effect is, please?
It's a rotational effect that occurs. I mean, I can't explain it fully. I've seen...
Well, so we're not doing too well then. I'm going to try and explain what happens on two different models that are conceptual entities to begin with. I'm going to expect that you understand the definition of Coriolis before you start launching into explanations of what happens on a model.
Zizzle, what's the causes of Coriolis, if there is? What's the cause of it?
The cause would be the distance to the center of the...
Wrong. The causes are a non-inertial rotating reference frame spinning underneath an inertial reference frame. That's what gives you Coriolis effect. That's the cause. Just out of interest, which side of the argument are you on, Pizzizzle?
I'm a glow.
Shock horror. Hence, whenever we explain something to you that you didn't understand but wanted to talk about, we get a long silence. So no concession that you don't understand what you're talking about then, but want to detail it on two different models. Strawman us with the flat Earth model, right? But you don't actually know how to define this effect.
I was about to explain it, but
no,
then
you weren't. There was a long protracted silence after I explained it. You were asked a question, what causes it? You didn't give an answer. You said it's about travelling to the centre. That was wrong. I stopped you. Then there was a protracted silence. Then I explained what actually caused it. And now you're talking through me while I do it again. So no, the causes of Coriolis effect are a non-inertial reference frame spinning underneath an inertial reference frame. That's what gives you Coriolis. Second time.
Yes, which would, if you put that into actual fucking... If you put it into an experiment, the molecules of whatever liquid, I guess, or a gas you're using in this case, would the molecules that are further away from the center of the rotation would be moving
that's got nothing to do with Coriolis.
Rate.
No, that's incorrect. Do you want to explain to us again? Now I've done it twice. See if you're any good at repeating things. Repeat what I've just explained. Define the Coriolis effect, please.
I'm not a fucking scientist, dude.
Sorry,
I'm not trying
this isn't
to debate.
science. Stop swearing at me. I'm just going to explain again because you've done it again. I've asked you to define Coriolis.
You'll mute me. You're going to end up muting
through me. You're muting me. You're muting me. So, I've asked you to define something that you're about to launch into a detailed explanation about what things at the centre point of a rotating platform do. And you haven't actually defined what the Coriolis effect is. I've defined it for you twice. And yet you can't even repeat it back to me. But you expect me to sit here and listen to you babble on about something you don't understand. How dare you? That's why I asked if you're a globehead. This long protracted silence is what I expect from someone with zero humility. With that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you tuned in live, smashed the super chat, commented, shared, subscribed on the Nathan Oakley 1980 live stream. Also, a massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making the live show possible. If you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!